Hello, welcome back to Straight Talk Gomi. Today we're going to be talking about our first experience where we had to go to a funeral or we had to experience someone passing away and how we felt as a child and how we carry that feeling or that fright, like we were scared, into adulthood. So I remember as a child, and my great aunt had passed away. We call her dear aunt. And you could not tell me she did not love me. I always thought that this woman loved me the most, more than her own. And I would say, oh, she loved me and stuff like that. So she passed away, and I sat down at the table with the adults, right? And as I sat down at the table with the adults and everything, now they normally do not let children sit down at the table, but because it was death and they were grieving and everything, they allowed me to, they didn't even notice I was there. That's to tell you. They didn't even know I was there. But anyhow, you just have to do preparation and get food ready so when people come over to the house, they can get something to eat after the funeral service and after the burial and stuff like that. So now they're there prepping and cooking and getting everything together. They needed something and they sent me down to the basement. Now, before they sent me down to the basement, they had a conversation amongst themselves, adults. And children should not sit down with adults and listen to their conversations. Children should not be seen or heard you sitting there and you listen to adult conversation, because two things can happen. You could get a slap, or they'll tell you to get up and go away. Anyhow, they was talking about, how when somebody died and they love someone, they'll come back and get them, and so on and so on. Like I told you, my great aunt died, so I thought she loved me. You couldn't tell me she didn't love me. So now they go and hear this now. They go and tell me, they call me, come and go downstairs and get me something from out of the basement. I can't remember what it was, but I know it was something they wanted, and I had to go get it because I was the youngest one, and I couldn't tell them no because I'm a child. You don't tell your adults no. So I go, I said, Auntie, where is this thing? Where is it? Tell me exactly where it is, because I'm scared. So now I run down the basement. She still didn't tell me where the stuff is, so I got to find it for myself. And I'm bumping into everything. Even the coat scared me that I run back up the stairs and tell them I can't find it. And so on. So then after that, now after the funeral was over, I now going home now and everything. My mom said, oh, go take your bath and get ready for bed. So I go in the bathroom now, and the door open. I close in the bathroom door. So now I'm trying to open up the bathroom door, and my hand hit the light switch and it went go off. And I started screaming and hollering. And when you start to cry and everything, and it's dark, you start to see like white shadow or something like that. And I'm saying, she coming to get me, she coming to get me, she coming to get me. Let me out of here. So I'm trying to open the bathroom door, but I'm closing it back on my own self. Right. So now, as I got older, and you keep hearing these stories, that you just see these people, you just feel them, they just pass through the house, and all these different things, and I'm like, what? And you should hear, you feel it? You feel her? Oh, yes, they think. And you as a child now get scared. You're frightened now. By this time, you're frightened. And then every little thing you can hear in that house, I tell you, you can hear the slightest little thing, even the wind blowing, you hearing it. So then as adults now, we call ourselves adults. So me and my brother, we goes to this funeral, and we over at the people's house and everything like that. And we hearing these West Indian people talking, and they telling these stories, and you sitting down there and you listening to them. One woman say, when your husband died, you must put on a certain kind of color underwear so he won't come back and interfere with you. What? And me and my brother just taking it in. My brother looking at me, and I'm looking at my brother, and we sitting down there. Then the next one will say, oh, you didn't feel he passing through the house, or you didn't feel that? And you going, And me and my brother talking about, you felt that? I'm like, no. Yeah, I said, you feel it? He said, no. And we all frightened. Now we sitting down there and we listen to all these stories about when they went to the cemetery and all of these crazy stories that, oh, they saw something walking through the cemetery, and you are scared. Now, remind you that people can't do you nothing, but at this point, that goes out the window. Your brain start working overtime, and you start to get frightened. So now me and my brother, we go home from this funeral and stuff like that. So now we turn off the lights and stuff like that. And my brother, he's like macho. He's like, oh, I ain't scared. You scared? I'm like, I don't want him to think that I'm a punk. So I'm like, I ain't scared neither. So we now go to bed. He go in his room. I go in my room and everything. So now we laying down in the bed, and you know, as a child, when somebody pass away and they send you in the room by yourself, you cover your head. Your head be covered like this, and you just be peeking, and your head covered, and you're peeking because you're scared. And your parents turn off the bedroom light, but you dare not get up and turn off the bedroom light, turn back on, because you're scared. And you asking your mommy and daddy, could I come in the bed? No, you stay in your bed, Dad. People can't do that. But you just said at the funeral, oh, they come back for their loved ones. Anyhow. So next thing I know, I see one light come on. And then I go and turn on a light because we frightened now to actually be in the house by, because you start hearing all kind of stuff. Everything start to scare you and stuff like that. And you know as an adult that people can't bother you, But because of what people are saying, it starts to play games on you, right? And you start to say, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And you start to shake because now you're busting out in sweat. And you now, as an adult, now frightened to go in your bed. And I'm going to put you on a little secret. When your parents, and you are small, and your parents ask you to come and lie down in the bed with them and you could come and sleep with them at night, that's because they're scared too. They're scared too. I realize that they're scared now too. Because all the other times they want to send you in the bed to go sleep by yourself. And that one particular time they go to the funeral, man, and then they go, oh, when I was there and I see the person laying there, boy, it's just playing with my head. I just seeing them. And then they say, oh, sweetheart, you could come and lie down in here tonight and sleep. That's because they're frightened too. Not only kids frightened, they get frightened too. And you be like, oh my God. And you start hearing things and so on and so on. And you don't know what to do. And it gets scary. But as adults, we know that people can't do us anything. It's just what's all in our heads as a child, and we just carry it as an adult. And next thing you know, as adults now, when you hear somebody pass away, you ready to go to everybody's funeral now and sit down and talking and laughing and gaffing, because now you're not that scared anymore. And you say, oh, please. And you just be happy and you're laughing. But when you go home, it's a different story. But now I'm an adult. It don't bother me anymore. I don't know what's going on. Well, guys, I gotta go.